welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm going to be reviewing the newest installment in one of my favorite franchises, Alien Covenant. So Alien Covenant's directed by Ridley Scott, just like Alien and Prometheus, and this movie is supposed to take place after Prometheus but before Alien. I'd like to start off by saying my expectations would have been a touch too unrealistically high for this movie. I don't know. I just wanted it to be just so amazing, and it wasn't exactly amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. It's not bad at all, but it's about on the same level as Prometheus for me. Basically, the premise of the movie is you have this ship, the Covenant, which is a colonization ship. So it's filled with all these colonists that are trying to go to a new planet because Earth is dying, so it's just this long flight to get to the new planet. There's a small crew that's in charge of the ship, and they are woken up early from cryosleep because there's a big celestial event, and it makes the ship all messed up, so they'd have to get woken up to deal with the whole situation. And of course, in alien fashion, there's some signal on a different planet where they're not going to, and they need to go and figure out what the signal is, and they think the planet might be habitable. So instead of going the huge long flight to their original destination, they decide to go to this other planet and investigate this mysterious signal. So I don't want to get too much into spoilers in this. If I can avoid spoilers, that's the best, but there's some things I have to say for this to make sense. So if you saw any of the little prequel videos for this, you know that the Prometheus ship from Prometheus lands, and well, that's where the signal is coming from. So of course they go and they decide to land on the planet, and things go horribly wrong, like you imagine were going to happen. So the acting in this movie isn't amazing, other than Michael Fassbender's character is really interesting, because when you see the movie you'll realize that what he's doing is kind of interesting as an actor. Really hard to talk about what's going on in this movie without spoiling most of the movie. The rest of the supporting cast in the movie isn't really that interesting. I mean, they feel like they're disposable. They feel like they're not really that important to the story or even as characters. There's not really a lot of character development. Catherine Waterston's character, Daniels, really feels like they're trying to shoehorn in like a Ripley type character, and I just don't think you're ever going to get another Ripley. So it didn't feel like it worked very well for me. Not that she's a bad actress or it was a bad portrayal, it just felt like they were trying to make Ripley again, and that just isn't, I don't think that's going to work. The visuals in this movie are really, really good. It's stunning. It's just all the scenery, all the attention to detail that Ridley has. It's amazing. Like in the ship, just everything about it, he just pays such attention to the smallest little things, and he creates these environments that it's like you can only find them in Alien. The only real issue I had with probably the visuals were the xenomorph itself just doesn't seem right when it's all CG. In this movie, the entire, even when the xenomorph's small, it's entirely in CG, and that is a little disappointing for me. I really like the old practical effects. I think they still hold up really well, and I think you can do practical effects for a movie like this and still manage to do it extremely well. This movie does lack the suspense of Alien, which is one of the things I love about Alien. It's not really, it doesn't have that like creepy, uneasy feeling to it. It's a lot more, it's like there's action and then there's people talking, and then there's a little bit of action, there's a lot more people talking. It doesn't have that uncomfortable feeling. There are moments in it that could shine back to Alien. They even recreated some really iconic scenes in this movie, but it didn't do it enough throughout the whole movie to keep me interested. They did go into more story of how you bridge the gap between Prometheus and Alien, which I thought was going to be a little difficult. And they did a pretty interesting and good job of showing you, how the xenomorphs became the way they look, because at the end of Prometheus you see it's not really a xenomorph. I mean, it's a little bit like it, but it's not exactly what it is. And this movie delves into how it got to be the iconic creature that we know and love, the xenomorph. I would say it, I feel like people say it in a lot of these movies, whether you say it in Godzilla or any other monster movie. I wanted more of the xenomorph. I wanted it to be on screen more, and it doesn't even have to be on screen in the sense that I can see it and it's there. It just I need to know it's there. I need to have that uneasy feeling like an Alien where you know it's around. It could be anywhere. It could even be in the shot and you don't really know it's there because it's back in the dark. And this movie, it doesn't do that creepy or creeping around in the dark stuff. It's just there and it's out and it's running around. And the fact that it's a CG creature, it takes me out of it just a little bit. Not to it being it looked really good, but it wasn't the Alien that I know and love. Also, they try to throw a couple little twists in. You'll know if you see it, especially towards the end of the movie. And it didn't trick me at all. I don't know if anyone could actually be tricked by that. It was pretty obvious that what happened throughout the end of the movie, and I didn't like that. They dragged that out for a good bit too, where you don't really know, and it's this whole twist reveal at the end. But I mean, everyone should have known at that point that that was going to happen. Also, I mean, I can't really gripe on it because a lot of movies do it. Even Alien does it, where characters make really bad decisions, and that's what leads to all this happening. But this movie had a lot of really bad decisions. A lot of the characters did things that were you should have known this was going to happen. I did like that it went for a really violent and just aggressive nature, especially whenever the xenomorphs were on scene. And I like that a lot. I like that really like animalistic nature of the xenomorph, and I think they nailed that really well. This movie's really brutal. It's definitely a hard R. It's not for kids. It has way more violence than most of the Alien movies and a ton more than Prometheus. This movie definitely did feel like he was trying to blend Prometheus with Alien, but I wanted more of an Alien mix, and I'd say this movie's probably 75% Prometheus, 25% Alien, and I think we need to get more towards the Alien range. I want to get back to what Alien is about and what it feels like. Like Prometheus, it gets a little bogged down in like the lore and the mythology of that universe, which is cool, but I don't know if I need that much. I like the mystery of Alien, like where it comes from, what is that ship, what's going on. This movie explains a lot, but I don't think it's questions that I needed answered specifically. Thinking in the sequel towards, like, it leads, obviously you know there's going to be sequels and it leads up to a sequel, and I think that is the movie I want to see. I think that's the movie I was expecting is what they're setting up for me. And this just kind of felt like a stopgap movie between the movie I want to see and Prometheus. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a little disappointing. It wasn't what I expected it to be, and it just didn't hit the mark completely for me. It's definitely still a really good movie. It's visually amazing. I think the direction's really good. I just think that it was so close to being what Prometheus is that it didn't stand out for me, and it didn't really get me super excited. It didn't get me how I felt about the first Alien movie or even Aliens. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe down below. And if you saw Alien Covenant, were you disappointed in it? I mean, I feel like maybe because I was such a big fan of the first Alien movie that I don't know if any movie in this franchise is going to be able to live up to that standard. So, yeah, I don't know. But see you guys later.